Good afternoon, everyone out there. Welcome to another section of your business with Accent Nominees. So this afternoon we'll be doing a quick recap on our previous series. So for the past few months now, we've been talking on what's next after business registration, and I want to believe that we found this very helpful. So what we'll be doing this afternoon is just to we'll be having a recap of 5 series that we've had on this section. And for our viewers who recently joined us not quite long, so with this section you'll be able to have an understanding of what we've discussed in our past series, especially if you are joining us from like the series we had in like some few weeks back. So because we started on a journey from what the classes of business registration, we proceeded to knowing your industry regulators, we talked about registering your trademark, we talked about restructuring your business after registering with the Corporate Affairs Commission, we talked about money lending, we talked about business license permits, we've even talked about business continuity. So we've talked about a lot of things. So if you are just joining us, I would encourage you, you've not really missed a lot. So that's why we're having this recap today, so you can go back, you can know the series to review for those just joining us. So this afternoon, basically, like I said, I'll be touching on 5 of our previous series. So I'm just going to be doing a summary of what we discussed so far. So we've talked about what next after business registration. We talked about knowing your industry regulator. So part of the industry regulator we talked about is the Corporate Affairs Commission, which I'm going to major on. And for people who have their businesses registered, I don't know if you've had to check your business status with the Corporate Affairs Commission. And how you can do that is just simply you can just type search.cac.gov.ng. You can type it in on your Google browser or any browser you have. You can do that. And if you want us to just we'll drop this link. After this section, I'll drop it in the chat box, so you can check your business status. So after checking your business status, if you see something like inactive, then you need to activate your business. And the agency which is responsible for that, when we talked about knowing your industry regulators, is the Corporate Affairs Commission. So if you see this inactive status on your business status on the Corporate Affairs Commission portal, you don't have to go to FRS, or you don't go to NIPC, or you don't go to Standard Organization of Nigeria. So the agency where you have to correct that business status is the Corporate Affairs Commission. And how do you change this business status? Because if your status is showing inactive, so it says one thing basically. It says that it's just an impression, or it's an implication of the fact that you've not been filing annual returns to the CAC, or ever since your business was registered, either as a company or as a business name or as an incorporated trustee, let's say an NGO, a church, association, organization, any of these non-profit entities. So if since you've registered this business, you've not done anything with the Corporate Affairs Commission, you've not changed director, you've not changed shareholder, you've not changed your business address, nothing has been done since your certificate was handed over to you, most likely your business status will show inactive. This is because the CAC has not heard from you. There has not been exchange of any correspondence since that business is registered. So for you to change this status to active, you need to have your annual returns filed up to date. And talking about these annual returns too, we talked about this when we talked about what next after business registration. You can check our series on post incorporation filings on this same page. So we had a section on that. So annual returns filing is an obligation of every businesses. So it's not just limited to company, it's not just limited to business name, it is also not limited to incorporated trustees. So all organizations, irrespective of whether it is for profit or not for profit, as long as you are registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, you need to file annual returns to the Corporate Affairs Commission every year. So since the CAC updated is they upgraded their website, I think last year. So on the CAC portal now, you can easily identify, you can easily spot out businesses that are active or businesses that are not active. So we've seen cases where your business is very active, like you do business, you are making good money, but on the CAC portal your business reflects that it is inactive. So it is not a good culture. It is advised that you change that status to active, and it's something that is very simple. So once you pay your annual returns filing, then you can contact the Corporate Affairs Commission to change the status, and they won't change that status until you show evidence of your annual returns filed up to date from the time the business is registered till the last annual returns is filed. So that is that's like a summary of what we talked about on post incorporation filings. So that post incorporation filings, there are things that you need to do, or there are obligations based on the decision you make in a company. So earlier on I talked about changing director, or changing your business address, or even changing your name. So if you carry on any of these decisions, if you make any of these decisions in your company, then you have an obligation to notify the Corporate Affairs Commission, so that your record with the Corporate Affairs Commission can be up to date. So you see that I keep talking about the Corporate Affairs Commission because this is the agency that is saddled with the responsibility of supervising and managing all businesses registered in Nigeria. So this is not to say that we don't have other organizations. They have their own role. So the role of the CAC is to manage the register of business, records of business. So it's like a registry. So it's the registry arm for all businesses in Nigeria. So, and it is the first point of call. So if you want to start a business, you don't start your business registration with the Federal Inland Revenue Service, even though you need to get a tax identification number to operate a bank account, but you start from the Corporate Affairs Commission. So it is like you are building blocks. So it is from the Corporate Affairs Commission you move to the Federal Inland Revenue Service. And if you need to get a license, let's say money lending license, we have a section where we talked about all you need to know about money lending license. You can also check that out on this same page. So if you want to carry on the business of money lending, you've moved from Corporate Affairs Commission, you have your tax identification number, and then you move to the agency, the regulatory body that issues money lending license in states where you want to carry on that business. And if it's also a finance house too, you have to go to visit the Central Bank of Nigeria to get that license. If your business is about investment, any of the classes of investment opportunities or investment classes we have out there now. So let's say you are into this investment, equity investment, venture capital, and all of that. So you need to get license with the Securities and Exchange Commission. So this is why you need to know the agency that regulates your line of business. So we have a section on this What's Next After Your Business Registration series that covers for industry regulators. So you are into production of food items and other items regulated by the NAFDAC, that's the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control. We have a series that covers that. So like I said, this is just a recap. So if you are looking at starting a business, you are watching this video, you are looking at starting a business, I will advise that you go back to our previous videos, because we've had series of conversations, so that can properly guide you. And if you need to reach out to us privately, we are also very open to answer and put you through on all you need to know about your business. So another thing that you also need to know is that after you've registered your business, you can restructure it. So because we've seen cases where people want to register their business and they want to put some things into place, they want to get someone to come on board and all of that, and because the person is not readily available at the moment, they kind of tend to postpone their registration, and that slows their business down. So with the new law in place now for company practices, you can incorporate your business with just you. So if you are looking at bringing someone on board as a director or as a shareholder, but the person is not ready to take up that role, or the person is not ready to invest in the business or obtain equity shares in the company, you can still go ahead to register your business. So that's why we talked about we have a section where we talked about restructuring your business. So after registering your business with the Corporate Affairs Commission, you can restructure it. You can bring in shareholders, you can remove a shareholder. The shareholder can surrender his shares. So by that way, that's a way of exiting the company. You can increase your share capital. So let's say you started the business with 1 million share capital. Now you're able to get investors to invest in the business, and you want to increase the share capital instead of registering another business. Because we've also seen cases where some of our clients come to us and they tell us, oh, I want to register another business. And these are people who already have a business registered that caters for what they want to do. But because the business is already registered, they have shareholders already, they have directors and all of that, some of them believe that, or they just feel, oh, I need to register a new business because I want to bring in an investor, or I want to do something. You can still restructure this business so that you can easily manage your tax liabilities, because if you have like chains of businesses doing almost the same thing, it's not advised. So if you feel that what you need to do is just if restructuring that business is the best option, which is always the best, you can restructure the business to bring it into the present economic realities such that you can even easily manage the business. Imagine having like having 10 companies registered doing almost the same thing. You need to file annual returns for each of these 10 companies. If it's tax, you need to pay tax for each of these 10 companies. But if you can have everything in one single company, then it will be easy for you as a business owner to supervise, not just supervise the company, but control the activities of the company. You'll be able to like manage the company finance and be able to sustain the business. You'll be able to focus on one business, knowing that, oh, even though you do a lot of things, but you know that your compliance, your board of directors meetings, everything is done at a go. So what else again have we talked about during the course of this what next after registering your business? We've also talked about fundraising too. How do you go about raising fund? How do you go about raising capital for your business? Because we've also seen cases where people at the time of sourcing for fund, they had to I wouldn't want to say they were too desperate, but because they didn't really have good knowledge of what how to source for capital, what to look out for when having an investment agreement, when bringing in a partner on board. Because we've seen cases where people have had to enter into a partnership relationship without putting the necessary measures in place, and at the end of the day things didn't go out as planned. So we have a section 2 on this what next after your business registration series, where we talked about things to note when it comes to partnership, how to structure partnership. We have that section 2. We also have a section 2 that talks about registering your trademark. A lot of people have their business registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, and during the course of registration or after the business is registered, they have a trademark. Let's say, when we say trademark, it's not just limited to name. Trademark can be slogans, it can be colors, it can be a symbol. Let's say your business logo. So have you protected it? Are they well protected? Is it such that you can stop an infringer, someone who is not authorized? Can you stop such a person from the use of such trademark? So we talked about trademark, we talked about designs, trade secret. We have that section too. So I also encourage you to, if you are not too sure if your business if you have a trademark in your business, you can just book a section with us. You can have a business diagnostics with you. And if you want to do that, you also send a number, drop a number in the chat post. So what we are doing this afternoon basically is to open you up to several opportunities where you can have a one-on-one section with us based on all these sections. Because the essence of having these sections is to bring to your understanding some things or things you need to know about your business. So if in the past few months there's a section you've watched on this channel and you don't really have a full grasp of what we talked about, or you want to know more, or you need a guide on any of the things we've talked about, I'll drop our email address. I'll drop it in the chat box so you can engage us. I'll also drop a number so you can call in. We can have a one-on-one section with you, and we hope that at the end of the day you will be much more informed than you were. So this is the end of today's section. I believe that at the end of today I'll get our responses. We'll expect your feedback. I look forward to hearing from everyone. And if you know anyone, so if you are not just the one, if you know anyone who would find this information, if anyone who you feel, oh, this person needs to have is a business structured, is a business restructured, or the business status is inactive on the Corporate Affairs Commission portal, you feel the person needs to have a one-on-one section with us, you can also send this video to such people, and once they contact us, we also contact them back, and we hope we can take it up from there. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and do have a beautiful week.